A few weeks ago, I walked into Snipes, the shoe store here in the Arcade, and I wanted to try on an awesome new pair of sneakers. So I went to the guy behind the counter and asked if I could try some on. "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, but you can't have that shoe," he told me. "Well, why not?" I asked him. "Well, it belongs to the men's collection. We have the same shoe, though, in the women's department, but it's made in another color." "But I don't want that color," I told him. "I would really like the gray shoe." "Well, that's not possible, because that shoe is not made in the ladies' size, unfortunately." So the result was that I walked out of the shoe store again without any shoes. And with this pretty androgynous product, the choice was not up to me to buy it, because the manufacturer made a decision in what gender it belongs to. Now I want to give a short word to another expert on the subject.
All the girls buy princesses and all the boys rise to buy superheroes.
Well, why?
Because girls want superheroes and the boys want superheroes, and the girls want pink stuff and the girls and the boys don't want pink stuff. Yeah.
Boys want both, but why do you think they do that?
Because the companies who make these try to trick the girls into buying the pink stuff instead of stuff that boys want to buy, right?
Right, but you can buy either, right? The boys can buy either. If boys want to buy pink, they can buy pink, right?
Yeah, so then why don't the girls have like princesses? Some girls like superheroes, some girls like princesses. Some boy like superheroes, some boy like princesses.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why do all the girls have to buy pink stuff and all the boys have to buy different color stuff?
It's a good question, Riley.
All right, so that was Riley. Now, there are many more examples wherein your gender makes a decision for you. And that might not always be a bad thing, but it does keep a clear division between the blue and the pink section. You might not always realize it at first, but when you pay attention to your daily rituals, a lot of your choices are determined by your gender. For example, which bathroom you walk into, or which locker room you choose, or what color shaving cream you buy. And this process of segregation already starts at a very young age, as we saw before. Now for me, this is one of the many reasons why we need to start talking about gender. What does it mean to be a man nowadays? And what does it really mean to be a woman? In what aspects are we the same, and how are we different? Perhaps you don't even want to categorize yourself as either one of these, but rather as transgender or transvestite, or gender neutral. Today I will have a look at some gender issues from a female perspective, because I'm a woman, and because I've done a lot of research in the topic of contemporary femininity. Now that being said, I'm also obviously very curious about the other side. So to all the men and the boys in the audience, I invite you to think about your own male perspectives on the subjects and see what you think. When my grandmother was my age, 23 years old, she was working in the statistics office of the KLM flight company, and she got pregnant with my mom. She was one of the best calculators of the team, but because she was pregnant, she got fired, and she was forced to continue her life as a stay-at-home mom and could never return. The thing is, childcare didn't exist yet, so this is the way things went in the 60s. She never had the chance to continue her career and fulfill her own ambitions because she was a woman. A woman in a wealthy Western country less than 50 years ago. This was one of the many reasons for the uprise of feminism in the 60s that changed the way women are living their lives today. And through the first waves of this movement, a lot of women in the Western world have reached equality on a political and economical level. Whereas, unfortunately, in many other countries, these basic forms of equality are by far not reached yet, where women cannot choose to have an education, or decide who to marry, or choose between a job and children. Now, we here in the West have reached most of those goals, but on a social level, there is still a way to go. As talked about before, in the recent news, sexualization has played an important role, and Me Too triggered a lot of emotions. On the one hand, it has opened up a lot on the topic of sexual harassment, and on the other hand, it also created insecurities in the work field about communication between genders. Unfortunately, it's true that women are the part of society that are targeted a lot and are more often displayed as sexual objects, which creates a social disbalance between the sexes. Nudity and the public display of the female body has become more popular through the internet, through advertisements, fashion magazines, social media, you name it. And this growth of display definitely also counts for guys. We're all looking up to a certain standard regarding our identity, our sexuality, our dress codes, and our beauty standards. We're all trying to fit into our gender frames, whether that means being fashionable and sexy, or rather protective and strong. Now, talking about these stereotypes, I want you to have a look at a quite explicit advertisement.
Another boys' night in. Not now. I'm in the zone.
Doritos. Yummy. Single player or multiplayer?
Right. So I heard a lot of promotion, which makes sense. So for me, this advertisement also kind of raises the question, am I allowed to laugh about this, or is it just like way too sexist? And I don't know, it's also kind of funny. It's obviously exaggerating the gender stereotypes, and it's making use of general marketing tools to make us interested in buying the chips. So the message of the clip shows that even, let's say, the very unattractive men are able to make out with very beautiful women if they purchase Doritos. And this is a kind of often used form of psychology in media that works the following. So some men that are watching want to have these sexy women. And some women watching want to be these sexy women so that they're wanted by men. So this creates a certain disbalance because the woman is the subject, and it remains a form of inequality that is repeating itself a lot in multiple forms of media. And these identity and sexuality cases are some of the reasons why contemporary feminism has taken a new turn. Instead of fighting for political rights, it's now about the expression of individual freedom and social equality for everyone. To work towards a world wherein women do not have to worry about getting raped while wearing a skirt, or wherein young guys don't have to be seen as dangerous while they're walking in a dark alley. A world wherein you are socially allowed to wear whatever you feel comfortable in. And wherein it's awesome to take dance classes as a boy, or wherein a girl can become a president.